Except the Vias that are the localizers. Well, yeah, there's a big difference, but most of the time they're not. Alright, let's do a VA defense woke localization and quickly found out.
Hey, what's up guys, Rip here.
So
today we're going to be talking about a host of topics largely revolving around anime and
I love
video
this
games.
meme.
And these topics will include some more localization drama, as well as some disturbing news coming out of Crunchyroll, and then we'll end the video.
Crunchyroll is such a piece of shit. There was that drama with their freaking subscription prices and stuff, and no one cares. Because they own the market, man.
With some issues people are having with a certain section of anime and its fan base, and by fan base I'm talking about the tourists among them who are destroying communities left and right. So we're going to begin with the localization drama. Now, if you've been paying attention to this channel, you definitely see the parallels between localizers and a lot of people in the industries like the gaming industry, for example, where you have developers and community managers who are basically activists who are cosplaying as someone in the industry, and that's exactly what a lot of localizers are. They're
Oh yeah, they stole gifts sent to a voice actor that worked for Crunchyroll that fans sent them and threw them in the garbage or something, or gave them away, and nothing ever happened of it. That's like actually a federal crime, by the way, to take someone's mail and bin it, or like, you know, redistribute it. Horrible thing to do. And nothing happened. People kind of just forgot.
Using their power and their trust as a localizer to vandalize original Japanese works to basically push an agenda that they want, or even to include stupid Zoomer language or other things they're fond of. Now, today's story is going to be focusing on this localizer, at least we're going to begin with this one. This is a localization editor at NIS America, and they helped produce the localization of Trails Through Daybreak 1 and 2. Now, they made this post, which got a lot of negative attention for reasons I will make very clear. So they said this: work announcement. I was the lead editor on Trails Through Daybreak 2. I edited 2/3 of the main story and was a producer on the game's English dub. I helped a little with casting and provided supporting direction during all of the game's voiceover sessions at PCB.
Okay.
Now later we're going to be talking about one of the voice actors involved with this dub, so definitely keep in mind that this individual helped with the casting as well as the voiceover sessions for this game.
So we have direct confirmation from themselves on what they've done. Okay, got it.
Now they go on down here to say it was an honor working alongside the talented colleagues and yada yada yada. And they say, I love Daybreak 2, and anyone who knows me will tell you how much I adore Falcom and the Trails series with how much I yap about it. I hope you all love their game as much as I do. Please let me know what you think. Now you can see based on the number of likes versus the number of replies and the quotes, people really let this localizer know what they think about this dub and localization they were responsible for. And you can see this comment right off the bat saying,
okay, let him cook. What?
I'm not going to give you hates, but come on, man. What in blazes made you think Riz was a good call to make? Oh boy. What are we talking about? Well, I found some screenshots of what they're referring to, but I actually found the dubbed clip of this specific mention, so let's give this a quick listen.
It's not like I don't trust S to be faithful, but I'd better start upping my riz just to be sure.
Why, in God's name, would you use a word that's only been popularized in the last, like, 5 years, maybe? You know, Zoomers aren't the only people that watch anime, right? Like, there's Boomers and Millennials and Gen Xers that watch anime. Yeah, like, what are we doing? For most... Well, my point is, it's not even, like, a lengthy amount of time. It's not like the word cool. Like, cool didn't initially mean, like, neat or interesting. But a long time ago, it used to mean, like, cool as in, like, the temperature, and it eventually evolved into being cool as it is today. But this is, like, a word that's been around for, like, less than 5 years. What are you doing? Oh.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a localization controversy without Zoomer language and humor being shoehorned
lingo.
into a translation. Clearly, that's not what it said in the intended Japanese dialogue, and this translation is unnecessarily adding in this Riz language in the sentence. And a lot of people who defend this stuff constantly, they'll say, "Oh, Rev, what's the big deal?" Well, if it wasn't a big deal, then why?
Because you want to know what actually is a big deal? Is because the industry is so small and they dictate it for almost everything. What did it say in Japanese? I'm sure it didn't say Riz!
They change it in the first place. And also, I think this denigrates the product. It is vandalizing the product. It's making it worse. And I think that is a pretty objective thing to say, because they're taking a straightforward translation and they're taking out words and replacing them with modern buzzwords like Riz that will be outdated eventually.
Yeah.
This sentence might not make much sense to people in a few years when people stop using the phrase Riz. I doubt people are going to be still using the phrase Riz years from now. And if you're consuming this product years from now, you might be a little bit tripped up. And not only will it be cringe, it might not make a lot of sense to people. This is literally hurting the product for no other reason than being a Quirk Chungus localizer wanting to insert this nonsense in their product. But it gets worse. We see the other facet of localizers.
It doesn't even matter what the original translation would have been, like the original word structure, it still doesn't actually make sense. It's not like I don't trust S to be faithful, but I start upping my Riz. Like, you could rephrase this in so many different ways. What if it's someone that doesn't speak Japanese and the only available language they have is English and they don't know the slang? What are they supposed to do? Try and deduce context through that? Oh, it's so lazy. I don't get it at all.
Of localizers, and that is their activism. And this is the much more pressing issue of localizers. When they're trying to insert their own agenda into the product, they are localizing and they're trying to change the meaning of dialogue, characters, and stories to push their preferred agenda. And this is happening again with this right here. You can see this person saying you should be fired and blacklisted, then referring to this localization saying, I was just wondering what pronouns to use for you, referring to.
I wonder what a Japanese person would say to this. Do they actually, like, have that in their culture to ask people for their pronouns? Like, I get it's, like, a very westernized concept, but they don't actually have that in Japan, do they? I don't think so. I don't think so either. I could be wrong, but I don't think they have, like, they only have, like, honorifics, don't they? Their stuff is about honorifics, like Chan-san, yeah, Sama.
This character. And this is the translation that says, I'm not really sure if I should be saying thanks, sir, or thanks, miss, you know?
No. 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 Oh. Oh, that's so weird. What is going on with this? Thanks, sir. Thanks, miss. You know, I wonder what pronouns you use. They didn't even try!
Referring to a somewhat ambiguous character, but here they're making it much more clear that they're going for a non-binary or trans character type of hinting here by saying, I was just wondering what pronouns to use for you.
Well, it's like so ambiguous and just strange. It's not a true translation. Just stop naming it like a translation then.
Obviously, this was fine in and of itself. It pushed exactly what the Japanese dialogue was going for, but this one takes a different angle and one that seems to be very politically motivated. And of course, people start defending this immediately, beginning with the journalists who made an article right when this localization was made saying Trails Through Daybreak proves games can be normal about trans people. So
this is such cope to me because trans people are people and they just want to be treated like everyone else instead of playing this stupid fucking game of like, what pronouns do you want to use? What do you want to do this for? What is your pronoun, chat? Chat, before I address you, can I know what your the pronouns are? Please?
They are literally planting the flag down and saying, this is a trans character. They have rewritten this character, and these journalists are trying to confirm it, right? They're working in tandem, as it seems. But on top of that, you get this individual, John Patnude. I'm definitely not pronouncing that right. I'm not trying to be smart. Clearly I'm not pronouncing that right. But this is the voice actor of the character in question. So they say this in defense of the localizer, saying, hi, Quatre's VA speaking. Everyone giving Andrew shit in the replies to his post should be ashamed of themselves. He worked his...
Again, this all circles back to people criticizing something, and then the VAs and the people working on the game, or whatever the translation, getting shit for it, and them saying, being like, we put in a lot of work into this, you're not allowed to say that, they're just a bunch of haters, instead of being like, hey, I wonder why they're acting like this. That's so weird.
Ass off for Daybreak 2 and has so much love for the series as a whole. Pay the haters no mind, Andrew. You're amazing. This would not go over well. A lot of people would be clowning on this post, and as you can see, I'm blocked by this particular VA.
Naturally,
but
of course.
Seeing this message at the end here, this would have just been a better DM than a public post. If you want to give them some sort of support, you're just kind of adding fuel to the fire here. But clearly, if this person loves the series so much, they would respect the original works and their...
And this is why things like this get into games and movies and all that, because if you start to criticize it, you automatically get labeled a transphobe or a homophobe, or you hate non-binary people and this and that, without actually addressing the criticism of it being quite literally a mistranslation, and it's not something that exists in Japanese culture. Sorry, you're inserting your Western values into Eastern culture where it does not happen, or it's not developed, as you say. It's like a soft form of imperialism, I've learned, apparently.
Intended messages.
American
but on top of that,
imperialism.
having a love for a franchise doesn't give you an immunity card to localize things however you see fit. Now, a lot of people are clowning on this individual, this VA, speaking up because it all seems just too convenient. Right? Remember, when we were talking about this localizer and their work announcement here, they said they had a part to play with the casting and also the voiceover work of this game and how they did their voiceover sessions.
Yes, of course, it's a small industry. There's only so many people that work there. That's the problem. I know for a fact from several people that I've talked to in the past that getting into voice acting work in the actual industry where people translate video games or they dub over animes and video games that come from Japanese localizations and whatnot, it is almost impossible unless you know people. It is a very closed off, like very cliquey kind of community.
So how convenient that this individual would
really
immediately come out and defend them. And we're talking about some character that's having these non-binary, possible trans angles going on here. And then you look at the bio of this voice actor, and it's just pure activism. Again, voice actor. And then you got the watermelon emote.
What the hell is the watermelon emoji? Am I missing something? Is that a new emoji I should be looking for? Why are you laughing? I don't know what that means. Palestine? What? That means Palestine now? Oh my god, are you kidding? Are you serious? I'm gonna look it up. I feel like I'm a crazy person. Watermelon emoji meaning. A symbol of solidarity with Palestinians. Are you fucking serious? What? I had no idea. Yeah, you're right, chat. Someone just explained it to me. I thought you were trolling me. I'm not even kidding. Yeah, it's a watermelon.
Emoji here, and then they/he, non-binary. It just seems a little too convenient that we're doing this shoehorn and this change in direction here, and it just so happens that the voice actor behind this character is also non-binary. It makes people think that you're trying to insert your own gender ideology into this established franchise and story. And then you see some tweets like this where they say trans actors should be able to tell their own story. Period. Okay, great. That's
people were giving shit for, what was it? I think it was in Squid Games. There was a trans character and it wasn't played by a trans person and people were schizoing the fuck out. Really? We're playing this game now? Yeah.
Sounds agreeable. But you can tell your own story without rewriting existing ones to shoehorn in trans themes or non-binary
write your own
themes
stories.
Or anything like that. Just make your own story instead of taking an established dialogue from an established franchise and trying to change it around through a localization to change the message. I think that is offensive. And if you want to make your own story, great, go do it. But don't vandalize an existing one. So, based on that, let's move on to another localization issue involving a different franchise. So we have this tweet from Prototype here saying it's finally here. It took time to make everything more appropriate for different audiences.
No. This, oh my god, no, please, for the love of God, stop. Stop! Please don't ruin my video games with your fucking stupid localizations. Please.
But the Nintendo Switch version of canon will be available globally from February 14th, 2025. English, Chinese, and Japanese text are all supported. Dialogue is fully voiced in Japanese.
I saw someone saying that they're gonna remaster New Vegas and like they're gonna remaster Command and Conquer's Generals, and I'm like, please don't touch those games. Please no. I don't want to play through the game and realize you actually unironically changed shit. You changed the meaning of something that everybody has played through. Please don't!
The protagonist is only voiced in certain scenes. So already,
because of this
we're
shit,
seeing
man.
this more appropriate for different audiences standard. Already, full stop. This is modern audience language. This is not good. It's saying that this Japanese product is offensive, problematic, and we need to censor it for the modern audience.
That's what I'm also like thinking to myself. Like, we're really pulling like a inadvertent white savior racism thing. Oh, we can't have this directly translated from Japanese because it's just inappropriate.
For the overseas audience because they can't handle it. The people who made this were very problematic and we have to fix what they made. Now, they provide a link and they describe exactly what they're talking about. Like I said, full stop already. I don't want these things changed in the first place, but when you see what they changed, it's even more ridiculous than you might have thought. So here's the actual things that were changed. Please note, in order to allow fans the world over to experience the game with the original character designs, some content in this title will differ from the version of canon sold in Japan. Bath scenes have been removed.
What?
Adjustments have been made to kiss and other romance scenes. Adjustments have been made to harsh language and crude jokes. Amazing.
Then what the hell is the purpose of the fucking game? You just changed it, just straight up.
This is a big problem that nobody should be supporting. This is garbage. So let me just rephrase what we're talking about here. So we're getting rid of any fan service or potential fan service.
Okay.
Then they're getting rid of kissing scenes.
What the hell's the point of the game then? You think people play it for not fan service?
Apparently kissing is too much for an overseas audience to handle. And then they're making adjustments to harsh language and crude jokes, which, of course, they're going to be the arbiter of what that means and how far that extends, and that could be pretty much anything they want. So I don't trust this product whatsoever. Not only is it vandalizing the original product, it's also setting up this very loose standard of what they're going to change. It could be pretty much anything with what they have listed. So I think
we determine what is hate speech, chat, remember? Yeah, if you call someone names or insults, it's hate speech. According to them, okay?
that's highly offensive, and I don't think anyone should be supporting this product overseas. But let's move on to a more serious story here, a corporate one coming out of Crunchyroll. This is something that happened about, let's say, a little over a week ago. I want to cover it now because we're on the topic of anime and things related to that. So this is a tweet saying an ex-Crunchyroll employee reports getting fired for requesting an ADA accommodation to tend to his mother with terminal cancer.
Remember what I said about Corpo Borpos? Can't go to your mom's funeral because you are out of vacation days? Yeah. Remember when Crunchyroll was like an actual pirating website? Yeah. They became what they used to hate.
This is a pretty scathing headline already, right?
So cruel.
But when it comes to
it,
workplace issues, it's typically pretty hard to prove things because not everything's recorded or set in stone.
Sure.
But I think what we're looking at here is pretty convincing that maybe something's not going right here. And if what's being alleged is true, Crunchyroll and Sony have somehow sunk even lower, which is hard to believe. But let's see what we're talking about here. So this individual posted this on their LinkedIn saying, "How Crunchyroll treated me after my hardest year. I never imagined I'd be writing this post. I gave my all to Crunchyroll, working nights and weekends, driven by passion for the fans and the platform, even while facing one of the most devastating challenges of my life. My mother's terminal cancer.
Poor
I remained
guy.
dedicated to my work. With the stress, depression, and anxiety became overwhelming, I requested an ADA accommodation, a reasonable step that should have been met with understanding and support. Instead, I experienced hostility. A manager I didn't even report to cursed me out and made an extremely obscene gesture during a workplace conversation."
Bro, if this is true, he should absolutely sue 100%. Again, if that's true, he should sue the shit out of them.
I documented the incident and reported it to HR. Instead of taking corrective action, I noticed a shift in how I was treated. Subtle at first.
If there's a report, he should 100% sue. If it's real.
Then more
Oh my
overt.
god, this is insane.
I raised concerns about workplace treatment, professionalism, and respect. Shortly after, Crunchyroll made the decision to terminate my employment, citing a policy violation. They then offered me severance in exchange for silence. The manager in this photo, he remains employed. Meanwhile, I now have no income while I care for my mother, a 52-year-old substitute teacher who is battling cancer
That
and a
sucks,
broken
man.
U.S. healthcare system that has left her unable to afford treatment. Leadership knew. HR knew, yet this is how they responded. I share this not just for myself, but for the many professionals out there who face retaliation for speaking up, who are forced to choose between their livelihoods
That is
and
so
their dignity.
bad.
Now, this is the post that is included. Now, of course,
Again, this could be fake. Chad, keep in mind this could be fake. Like if there's like a still frame of him holding up his finger, I will deduce the most logical conclusion. This could absolutely be a coincidence and he screenshotted this. Like at the right frame or something. But if this is real, that is so sad, man. This can't be true.
like I said, it's hard to prove a lot of things that happen in a workplace environment. You don't have everything documented. And when they said this employee made a rude gesture to me, it's like, will you be able to prove that? Apparently so. Here it is. This is the manager that he was discussing to, allegedly, flipping him off on camera. I'm assuming this is like a Zoom call or something. What context does this make any sense? What context does this not make Crunchyroll look awful? So
someone in chat says if it's on Teams, it's archived. Yeah, if it could absolutely be real, man. The guy should 100% sue. Get like a nice lawyer. They don't have to pay you, but they can't punish attack for a bereavement period. You should, I don't know, man. The other thing is like the policy violation. Is it like, did they fire him because of policy violation directed at him complaining too much.
So you have these very serious
I don't know.
allegations, and this is the first tangible proof we
Oh,
see.
it's Zoom?
Not a very good look
Yeah, it
for
does look
Crunchyroll
like
and
Zoom, doesn't
Sony.
it?
And like I said, their reputation's already in the mud, so how much worse can it get? I don't know. Hopefully we'll see some updates regarding this story and its very serious allegations soon enough. But let's move on to something that I've been seeing on Twitter. This isn't anything new. It's been going on for many years. But there's some very serious issues going on social media when it comes to anime-related fandoms, and in this case, a lot of tourists. Okay, it's no secret that since
I've seen a massive insurgence of tourists in the last 2 years while I was VTubing and I became a VTuber fan. Before that, I started seeing a massive influx of people trying to police VTubing culture as well. This is directly at and towards anime and stuff, but VTubing criticizing everyone left and right.
2020, especially during the pandemic, there was an influx of people who started checking out anime, right? And they started saying some of the most egregious things, right? They pretend to be fans on the one hand while denigrating and insulting everything that the industry stands for. They try to control communities. They try to...
It's funny because anime really ramped up to be mainstream when Attack on Titan came out. I was an anime fan before that, and I was bullied pretty hard for it, but then Attack on Titan came out, and it was the first or second season, and everybody loved it. It was insane how much of a turnaround that became a thing, and then all of a sudden anime conventions came to my town, and I was like, I never saw these outside of going to another country, or maybe going to a massive city.
Control what's allowed to be shown, or they want to advocate for censorship and all these things. They are very toxic for any of the related communities, and I think this post sums up what a lot of people are feeling. So it says, anime fans are seen as weirdos. Make our own subculture for ourselves. Normies during pandemic realize anime is actually amazing. Join our culture. Try to kick us out of our own spaces we built when they kicked us out of the normie space to begin with.
Oh yeah, Demons in Freering can be good. Oh my god, the people likening the Demons in Freering and other animes that have aliens, quite literal aliens in games and anime, and likening them to immigrants and shit. Oh my god, man. You can't even make this shit up. They liken anime, a fictional content, to real life.
Where do we go? And that's a very fair point. I think that's exactly what has happened. People have been literally attacked for just being regular anime fans for years and years by a new wave of people who are the most unhinged people you will see. But some people are trying to rewrite history. This person quoted that previous post by saying this. It actually went more like this. Anime is a niche, but respected hobby.
That is such cap. I remember drawing anime in school in my notebooks, and people said I was a weirdo. Yeah, absolutely not respected. If I drew normal shit, I don't know, apples and I don't know, doing actual art studies, I would have been less bullied. I know that for sure. Drawing anime in your books was a death sentence. I just stopped caring.
Weirdos find anime. Weirdos create insular, self-congratulatory subculture shunning non-weirdos. Normal fans are pushed out. Anime is stigmatized. Normal fans try to return. Weirdos throw a hissy fit. Yeah. Okay, buddy. That definitely happened. And as
and the whole room clapped, by the way. Holy shit.
You can see the reaction to this. 178 likes, 500 comments, and nearly 400 quotes, all dunking on this because this person's trying to gaslight you and literally rewrite history. This is the exact opposite of how things have happened. People have tried to appropriate spaces that were dominated by anime fans for a long time, and now those same anime fans are being attacked and ostracized for things that have been completely fine for a very long time. And I don't know how anyone is okay with this.
Living in Asia, watching anime didn't make you a weirdo? Yes, because it's been a thing for far longer in your culture. That's the funny part. Western anime fans have been stigmatized up until, I would say, probably 2010, and then it reached a pinnacle point of it becoming mainstream, and it slowly ramped up into COVID, which was 2020, within the next 10 years following that. And it was like, oh my gosh, like, boom, everybody loves anime. I see, like, Demon Slayer fucking t-shirts and shit. Like, in the grocery store, there was a woman in a Demon Slayer hoodie, and I was like, oh my god. Later than that, 2013. I disagree. I think 2010 is when it kind of reached a soft peak. And then when Attack on Titan came out and other anime like it that were just really popular.
It's an annoying trend.
Sword
and the
Art
pandemic
Online, yes,
is largely
that was really
responsible
popular
for this big
too.
shift. But I want to move on to one more tweet a lot of people are talking about here. This is a very strange one. So people are
I love this anime! I love this anime so much.
responding to this tweet saying, thoughts on Spy Family. And you can see this tweet gets 50,000 likes.
Holy.
A lot of people agree with this. It says, so aggressively heteronormative that watching it almost feels like conversion therapy.
This probably botted likes too. 50k to 100 comments is not real. Holy shit, man. What? Wait! The average person? Like, straight people are the majority. Like, am I fucking wrong? Am I smoking crack or something? Am I cooked? I thought that was the vast majority of the world now. That's what's happening, right?
Besides the word
The
salad here,
heteros.
are
Sounds
we
like a
serious?
slur.
What are we talking about here? You can't even watch Spy Family, something that's based on a traditional family, without calling it heteronormative and feeling like
So
conversion
weird.
therapy. I think it's not that deep.
I mean, maybe they're making a joke out of it. Like, sure, but still, it's such weird language.
Then I saw this too. So this individual says the amount of people saying yes to my question is concerning. So you have the original tweet here, and they respond by saying, you say that like a nuclear hetero family show is a bad thing. And what they're referring to is just a traditional nuclear family.
1,600 comments? Holy mother of engagement.
Family setup. Mother, father, child.
Holy crap.
Right? A happy family. A stable one. And they ask this question, you're showing this, is it supposed to be like a bad thing? And people immediately start responding with yes. Now, if you just look at the profile pictures alone,
Why is one of them Mao Zedong with cat ears? Hello? What are we doing, man?
everything adds up. But yeah, this is like the
Bots?
most fatherless
Probably.
behavior I've ever seen in my life. People are mad about the concept.
I bet you if I looked up their profiles, 9 out of 10 of those people would be like under 18. I bet you. If I could find out their age somehow, I bet you $100.
Of a nuclear family tells you a lot about the average Twitter user. Now, the original poster of the heteronormative post here says, in response to criticism, do people really not understand that the show about characters who have to hide what makes them abnormal while pretending to be a normal family in order to conform to societal norms might be heteronormative?
It's a show about spies. I'm going insane. I love this show. It's actually one of my favorite shows of all time. Like, it's really corny and cute and funny. It's about spies. Like, what? Being gay is not spying. Like the fucking analogy doesn't even make sense in my brain, man.
Oh man, the buzzwords and the word salad off the charts.
Blech.
But I just don't think it's that deep. The reason they hide who they are is
You're
because
confirmed. I
one
wish,
is a
man.
spy,
She's
one is
so
an
hot.
assassin, and one is a telepath. That's why they hide their identity. It's
Why are we, like, wholesome chungusing gay people into, like like having superheroes and making them abnormal. Why are we likening to like a fucking fantasy show to being gay or trans? What am I doing, man?
Not some sort of an allegory for anything. You're thinking way too hard about this. Like, I'm not even trying to rag on this user or anything like that. I just think people want to come up with the latest hot take.
How old are you,
and they
man?
just sound crazy. This sounds crazy to the average person. And again, like, I look at the original tweet. It's got 50,000 likes. And almost everyone's disagreeing with it. It's so weird. It's so against any sort of organic interaction on social media. Everything seems so forced. Everything seems like it's botted. It's very strange. But I brought up these previous examples to show there's a lot of wacky stuff going on across the fandoms of anime, on social media. There's all
fucking normies ruining my fucking hobby I've had for like fucking a million years now. Cool. Good lord, man. Stop! Stop!
Kinds of walks of life, and people really have lost the plot of just enjoying a great medium. And we're seeing so many people affecting this negatively, whether it's the localizers, whether it's people like Crunchyroll, or even some users trying to start trouble over the most mundane things. But that's where we are, and that's also where we're going to end this video. So as always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
I did not enjoy that. Thank you very much. Lord, fuck me. That was terrible. I hated that. That just made me upset. Heteronormative fucking anime. Good lord.